for the purpose of enhancing the friendship between the Chinese and Maltese peoples and developing the economic and technical cooperation between the two countries, an agreement between the government of the People's Republic of China and the government of Malta on the provision of a long-term interest-free loan to Malta by China is signed in Canton on April 8th. Premier Zhou Enlai and Prime Minister Mintoff signed the agreement for their respective governments. Prime Minister Duminkumintoff and the Maltese government delegation led by him wind up their successful friendly visit to China and leave Canton for home on April 8th via Hong Kong. The distinguished Maltese guests are given a warm send-off by Zhou Enlai, Premier of the State Council, Ding Shen, Chairman of the Guangdong Provincial Revolutionary Committee and Commander of the Canton units of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, other leading members of Guangdong Province, the PLA Canton units and Canton municipality, and several thousand local people. Although China and Malta are far apart, the friendship of the two peoples is steadily growing. This visit to China by Prime Minister Mintoff at the head of the Maltese government delegation has contributed to the further strengthening of the friendship between the two peoples and the development of the friendly relations and cooperation between the two countries.
Peking is in holiday mood on the eve of the arrival of distinguished guests from Malta. Prime Minister Duminkumintoff of the Republic of Malta arrives in Peking on November 3rd for an official visit to China at the invitation of the Chinese government. Chairman of the Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party and Premier of the State Council, extends a warm welcome to Prime Minister Mintoff. Also at the airport to welcome the Maltese guests are Vice Premier Li Xiannian and Vice Chairman Apo Awang Jigme of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. Accompanied by Chairman Hua Guofeng, Prime Minister Mintoff reviews a Guard of Honor made up of the ground, naval, and air forces of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. Respected Prime Minister Mintoff. Welcome, distinguished guests from the heart of the Mediterranean. Prime Minister Mintoff is an old friend of the Chinese people. He had visited China twice before and made important contributions to the development of friendship and cooperation between China and Malta. Today, he brings again the profound friendship of the Maltese people, for which we are extremely happy, and we sincerely wish his current visit a great success. Diplomatic envoys of various countries to China are also present at the airport to greet Prime Minister Mintoff and his party. In the evening, the State Council gives a grand banquet in the Great Hall of the People in honor of Prime Minister Mintoff and the other distinguished Maltese guests. Vice Premier ic-Cina presides over the banquet. Also present are Apo Awang-Jigme, Vice Chairman of the National People's Congress Standing Committee, and other leading personages. Vice Premier ic-Cina warmly praises the Maltese government and people for their valuable contributions to the cause of the people all over the world in unifying against hegemonism. He notes that Malta is particularly concerned with the situation in the Mediterranean, that it has consistently condemned the superpowers' rivalry and expansion in the region, and resolutely demanded the withdrawal of their military forces, so that the people of the Mediterranean countries may truly be masters of the Mediterranean Sea. This just stand of Malta's, he declares, accords with the common desire of the countries and peoples of the Mediterranean, who are fighting hegemonism, a stand that enjoys extensive sympathy and support. In his speech, Prime Minister Mintoff dwells on the basic factors common to Malta and China. He says that both countries are dedicated to contributing to peace among nations and frankly oppose the hegemony of the two superpowers. He points out that the people of Malta were not content with merely ousting NATO. They took the first positive step for the building of a new and free Mediterranean. At the CSCE conference in Helsinki, Malta boldly proclaimed that there can be no security in Europe without security in the Mediterranean, and that peace in the Mediterranean can only be achieved if Europe cooperates actively with Arab states, so that the armed forces of the two superpowers in this region will be reduced gradually and total peace restored eventually. The banquet proceeds in a warm atmosphere. The hosts and guests toast to the constant growth of the friendly relations and cooperation between the two countries and the friendship between the two peoples. The Chairman Mao Memorial Hall in Tiananmen Square. Accompanied by Vice Foreign Minister Han Nian-nong on November 4th, Prime Minister Mintoff pays his respects to the remains of Chairman Mao Zedong. The Prime Minister presents a wreath in front of the statue of Chairman Mao. The inscription on the front reads, "To the immortal memory of the great leader Chairman Mao Zedong." Vice Premier Li Xiannian and Prime Minister Mintoff hold talks on November 4th. Among those taking part in the talks on the Maltese side is Attorney General Dr. Edgar Mitzi. On the Chinese side are Vice Foreign Minister Han Nian-nong and others. Accompanied by Vice Chairman Zheng Tianxiang of the Peking Municipal Revolutionary Committee, Prime Minister Mintoff visits the Peking steel wire factory. This small metallurgical enterprise developed from several straw weaving workshops. Since 1960, the workers of this factory have been acting on Chairman Mao's teaching on self-reliance and working hard, and have learned much in the course of expanding the production. They succeeded in turning out alloy steel wires in a short space of time, thus helping China to break the blockade of Soviet social imperialism. With the continuous development of production, the factory now makes a variety of products, including iron, chromium, and aluminum electric heating wires, precision resistance coils, and metal material for instruments and meters. The distinguished guests, accompanied by Vice Minister of Economic Relations with Foreign Countries Wei Yiming, pay a visit to the National Exhibition on Learning from Daqing in Industry. Daqing Oil Field, the red banner on China's industrial front hoisted personally by the great leader Chairman Mao. Holding aloft the great red banner of Mao Zedong thought and advancing in the storms of class struggle, Daqing workers, represented by Wang Jingxi, blazed a new path for China's industrial development, diametrically opposed to that pursued by capitalism and revisionism, and built Daqing into China's first big petrochemical complex of an advanced world level. Under the leadership of the Party Central Committee headed by Chairman Hua, many Daqing-type enterprises have come into being across the country. The guests are deeply impressed by the Chinese workers' vigorous response to Chairman Mao's call. In industry, learn from Da-Qing, their revolutionary spirit of self-reliance and hard struggle, and their remarkable accomplishments. Accompanied by Vice Chairman Apo Awang Jigme, Prime Minister Mintoff attends a performance of the Chinese dance drama Small Sword Society, presented by the China Opera Troupe. This scene depicts the rebels and civilians celebrating the capture of the town of Shanghai during the Taiping Uprising. Distinguished guests congratulate the dancers on their successful performance. On November 5th, Chairman Hua Guofeng meets with Prime Minister Mintoff and his party. Chairman Hua has a cordial and friendly talk with Prime Minister Mintoff. Chairman Hua says since China and Malta were both subjected to imperialist oppression and aggression in the past, it is easy for them to understand each other. All countries, big or small, have their strong as well as weak points. We should learn from each other and help each other. Prime Minister Mintoff says in reply, on the current visit, we have especially noticed the unity and harmony of the Chinese Communist Party under the wise leadership of Chairman Hua Guofeng. We have come on our third visit with the intention of strengthening our spiritual ties against the hegemony of the two superpowers. Chairman Hua adds that China is a developing country and belongs to the third world. She will always stand on the side of the third world. Present on the occasion are Vice Premier Li Xiannian, Vice Foreign Minister Han Liannong, Vice Minister Wei Yiming, and Chinese Ambassador to Malta, Chen Zhiping. Members of Prime Minister Mintoff's party include Dr. Edgar Mitzi, Attorney General, Maurice Abala, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Commonwealth and Foreign Affairs, and Carlo Vella, Member of Parliament. A government protocol on economic and technical cooperation between the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Malta is signed in Peking on November 6th. Prime Minister Mintoff and Vice Premier Li are present at the signing ceremony. The protocol is signed by Dr. Edgar Mitzi and Wei Yiming on behalf of the two governments. Prime Minister Mintoff and his party arrived in Nanning, capital of the Guangxi Zhuang Autonomous Region, on November 6th in the company of Ngapo Ngawang Jigme. They are welcomed at the airport by Chao Xiaoguang, chairman of the Revolutionary Committee of the Autonomous Region, and over 2,000 people. The distinguished guests visit a walking tractor plant in Nanning. This plant could only make simple, small farm tools before, when it was still a cooperative workshop. During the Cultural Revolution, however, the workers studied Chairman Mao's teaching that the fundamental way out for agriculture lies in mechanization, which made them decide to make walking tractors. Persisting in the spirit of self-reliance and hard work, they have, in the past few years, introduced 1,350 technical innovations. Today, the factory is doing a great service to the country's agriculture by turning out a large number of walking tractors. Prime Minister Mintoff inspects the Liu Sha orchard in Nanning. This orchard grows chiefly tropical fruits. It has expanded steadily, and the fruit output has gone up considerably. The trees are heavily laden with ripe oranges. The city of Guangzhou in South China. On November 7th, the distinguished guests arrived in Guangzhou, where they visited China's 1977 Autumn Export Commodities Fair. The fair is being held at a time when China's industry and agriculture are making vigorous progress, and her socialist revolution and construction are undergoing speedy development. The displays demonstrate the fresh achievements the Chinese people have scored under the leadership of the Party Central Committee headed by Chairman Hua, by holding high the great banner of Chairman Mao and adhering to the principle of grasping revolution and promoting production. one way China conducts trade with the world. It also serves as an important channel for friendly exchanges with visitors from foreign lands. Prime Minister Mintoff concludes his official visit to China and leaves Guangzhou for home on November 7th. The distinguished guests are seen off at the railway station by Ngapong Awang Jigme and Jiaolin Yi, Vice Chairman of the Guangdong Provincial Revolutionary Committee and Chairman of the Municipal Revolutionary Committee of Guangzhou. Songs and dances express the Chinese people's cordial wishes and their friendly feelings for the Maltese people, and the profound friendship of the peoples of the two countries forged in their common struggle against imperialism, colonialism, and hegemonism. So long, friends. Although China and Malta are separated by long distances, the friendly exchanges between the two peoples will surely continue to grow. So long, may the Republic of Malta achieve fresh successes along her course of independent development.